After Caitlyn Clark's injury, ticket prices have gone down 75%, which we knew would happen because if Caitlyn's not there, we don't.
Obviously, we've seen that Caitlyn Clark is injured, so the get-in price for the Sky versus Fever game on June 7th was $86, literally 48 hours ago. Now it's down to $25 after it was announced that Caitlyn Clark was injured. So this is a 71% drop in ticket prices just because of Caitlyn Clark's injury.
Angel Reese stepped into an arena so empty, you could hear a popcorn kernel bounce. Twice. No Caitlyn Clark. No crowd. No buzz. Just silence. And no mercy. What followed was a full-blown Reese meltdown, more theatrical than a Real Housewives reunion. When Queen Ree realized she was no longer the main attraction, things got messy, like fast food wrappers spilling across your back seat. This wasn't just a game. It was a silent stadium showdown, and her reaction? Absolutely wild. Buckle up.
Fortunately, news broke that Caitlyn Clark unfortunately has sustained a quad strain injury from the sound of it and is out for, it sounds like, at least 2 weeks. Justin, did you have some more info on that?
Yeah, 2 weeks that she's out with a quad strain injury. The Fever head coach, Stephanie White, this is a quote from her talking about this. Obviously, Caitlyn Clark is a competitor and wants to play. Obviously, everyone wants to watch her play, but for me, it's about making sure we address this in a way that doesn't affect her long term.
Sounds totally reasonable. I think obviously she's instrumental to what that team does.
Angel Reese walked into that ghost town arena like she was headlining Beyonce's world tour at Madison Square Garden. Chin high, strut on point. But there was no crowd, no energy, and definitely no Caitlyn Clark. Just squeaky sneakers, bricked layups, and a lone security guard who looked more invested in his fantasy football team than the game. Every shot that clanked off the rim echoed like a cry for help. Twang. Another missed bunny. Honestly, even the rim looked like it was trying to file a restraining order.
Watching the WNBA, there was nothing on the TV, so I said, why do I just support women? I'm a proud feminist anyways. It was one of the worst things I've ever watched. All I saw was straight bricks. But Caitlyn Clark might be a demigorgon. That girl can hoop. I will say, Caitlyn Clark, your ass need a new team. The people on your team some trash. And I know you can't even tell them that they're trash, so I might need to talk to your coach. I was watching the last 4 minutes of the game. I know y'all niggas ain't watch it, so I'm gonna explain it to y'all. Caitlyn Clark had like 6 open passes to their teammates, wide open layups. They missed every single layup. Them niggas lost the game. And for a game, Caitlyn Clark had to take a 99% contested 3 because she knows she can't rely on them sorry ass niggas, so she had to shoot herself. Caitlyn Clark, we gonna need to find you another team. I would say pairing you with Angel Reese would be some cinema, but if your teammates is breaking like that, your ass definitely can't be with Angel Reese. We need to pair you up with like Asia Wilson. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
It's getting tough out here for the self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie. She was hyped like the face of the league, but lately, she's been looking more like the highlight reels blooper segment. And before anyone rolls in with the haters gonna hate speech, let's keep it real. Nobody's dropping their hard-earned money on courtside seats to watch someone shoot 2-for-17 and flex like they just discovered the cure for cancer.
Feel about just her impact on the game, and specifically WNBA, and then their future game that they have.
With Caitlyn Clark not being there for this game, it is obvious that people were not going to want to see the game without her, because it's the camaraderie. Is almost like seeing Bird against the Lakers without Magic, or Magic against Boston without Bird.
Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark is out here getting double-teamed, hacked, shoved, tripped. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if someone tried to pickpocket her or sneak in a casual misdemeanor. The refs? Completely unbothered. She could get full-on rugby tackled mid-jumper, and the whistle's still chilling like it's strapped to a Wild West sheriff. At this point, you half expect her to get called for interrupting the assault. This isn't basketball, it's the Hunger Games, WNBA edition.
This is not the time to hit the panic button, but it's time to feel concerned about the Indiana Fever. They are horrible without Caitlyn Clark. They look awful. Caitlyn Clark is literally the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. She makes everybody around her better. Like, Lexi Holds, literally Steve Kerr. Sophie Cunningham, maybe John Paxson. Aaliyah Boston might be Horace Grant. I'm dead serious, man. This team is not good without her. Kelsey Mitchell.
And yet, the second Caitlyn Clark touches the ball, The crowd lights up like she's the secret love child of Steph Curry and Diana Taurasi. Fans aren't showing up for the league or the logo, they're showing up for Clark. She's the engine, the spectacle, the walking highlight reel with sniper range threes and court vision sharper than your grandma's post-cataract surgery. So what does the league do? Bench her brilliance, of course. The result? Arenas empty out faster than a dad's wallet at a Taylor Swift concert. Angel Reese can bark all she wants about being that girl, but the numbers don't lie. People are tuning in for Caitlyn. They are buying tickets because of Caitlyn. They are learning what a pick and roll is thanks to Caitlyn. Reese stans can scream into the void all day long. But even the void's like, yeah, I'm here for Clark too.
Dig in deep. This is an athlete who has 5 million followers on social media. 5 million. And yet, only 300,000 people watched the game against Brazil. 300,000. Comparatively, the player you hate, the player you think is overrated, the player that you say is being followed by a MAGA cult and followed by a bunch of her team against Brazil drew 1.3 million viewers on television for a preseason game that they won by 64 points.
The league had a golden goose, and instead of building the nest, they decided to haze it. Caitlyn Clark is getting clobbered on every possession while the refs act blind, deaf, and disinterested. It's like they mistook her for a tackling dummy. She hits the floor, and the official's response is basically, well, she is tall. What's next? Calling a foul on her for being too talented. Meanwhile, the double standard is deafening. Angel Reese can chop someone down like she's splitting firewood and gets praised for her passion. But when Clark shows emotion, suddenly she's too competitive, too fiery, not a team player. Please. If Caitlyn blinked too hard at a ref, they'd tee her up and hand her a pamphlet on sportsmanship. Fans aren't blind, they see it. That's why they are checking schedules and only showing up when number 22 is on the floor. You really think people are buying tickets to watch 18 missed layups and a technical for second quarter trash talk? Nah, they want magic. They want range. They want drama, dimes, and dominance, not a 2-hour brickfest followed by a post-game tweet about being doubted. Reese might have the sass and swagger, but Caitlyn's got the skill and the receipts. You can't fake court vision, and you can't flex your way into being a franchise. This isn't TikTok. It's professional basketball. And if you can't finish at the rim, maybe tone down the celebrations.
Angel Reese went on a tirade the other day, talking about how many people are now tuning in to watch women's basketball, not just because of Caitlyn Clark, but because of Angel Reese as well. Saying a lot of women have done so much for the sport, but specifically, people are watching because of me too. That's what Angel Reese said. Folks, in last video, we were talking about Kennedy Carter. It was her shot. She had a shot tonight. She could have captivated whatever 50, 60, 70, maybe 100,000 people were watching that game. She could have stole the attention span of that all.
At this point, the rim's more traumatized than the opposing defense. But let's be clear, this isn't just a Clark versus Reese saga. This is a league problem. The WNBA is trying to grow the game by sidelining the very player everyone's paying to see. That's like dropping a blockbuster movie and cutting the star from the final edit. Caitlyn is the box office, and the league's out here fumbling the popcorn. No Caitlyn Clark. No crowd. No buzz. No reason to care. Reese may be loud, but the silence in that arena said more than any press conference ever could. So here we are again, watching the WNBA wonder why fans aren't tuning in, scratching their heads like someone just handed them a Rubik's Cube and a blindfold. Attendance is down. TV ratings, lukewarm, unless Clark's on the court. And instead of looking in the mirror, the league shrugs. Must be society, must be misogyny, maybe Mercury's in retrograde again. Meanwhile, the real issue is standing right there in the paint, throwing elbows like it's the opening round of a cage fight. Players like Angel Reese, Brittany Griner, and Dijonai Carrington turning the game into a wrestling match and calling it defense.at some point. Someone has to say it. Fans don't want to watch Chaos Masters competition. They came for basketball, not a brawl.
Taking a look at your screen, you're seeing a lot of empty seats, but folks, I don't want you to be alarmed. These are not empty seats. These are people actually dressed up as empty seats. That whole top row where you see 2 people in a section, 3 people in a section, nobody in a section, even in the middle row, you see it empty. I mean, it's just empty there. Where are all these people that Angel Reese are talking about? Where are all these people that Angel Reese is saying are coming to watch women's basketball? More specifically, because of her.
There's a fine line between competitive aggression and reckless intent, and some of these players didn't just cross it. They did a backflip over it, lit it on fire, and posted it to Instagram with the caption, "Come at me." Somewhere along the way, a few stars started confusing physical violence with good basketball. Spoiler alert, it's not the same. Take Angel Reese, for example. She moves around the court with the energy of someone who just got cut off in traffic, flexing after fouls, mean-mugging like she's gunning for a role in a prison drama, and trash-talking like it's the only stat she's tracking. There's confidence, and then there's whatever this is. A chaotic cocktail of arrogance, bitterness, and pure delusion. And it's not just theater. These aren't harmless mind games. She's swinging, shoving, and hacking like the goal is to send someone to urgent care, not just keep them off the scoreboard. Then there's Brittany Griner, back from her international D-tier, hailed as a hero. And yes, everyone was relieved when she made it home. But since returning, she's brought more brute force than basketball finesse. She's elbowing players into next week, lumbering through the paint like Godzilla in a headband, daring anyone to challenge her throne. The league loves to parade her around as a symbol of resilience, and to be fair, her story off the court is powerful. But watching her play, it sometimes feels less like basketball and more like a WWE match where someone forgot the part with the pinfall.